is going to be the decider match between both of these teams. And as of now, AAD Esports, they seem to be so very strong. And their plays here, they just finished the MDL and now they will continue their journey. GPX, however, needs to find a way to bounce back. But after that game, it feels like GPX, they seemed a little bit down from this game so far.
I definitely feel that GPX looks a bit lost. It's a game where I feel like they got very comfortable with their composition as well, but the early snowball from AA caught them off guard, and GPX have been playing the entire game in recovery mode, even with heroics from Ziri stealing the lord, splitting the lanes, getting trays all around. It was those late game micro decisions, how AA decides to rotate, how AA takes these fights that never gave GPX proper room to breathe. Every time Lord comes up, GPX doesn't have a jungler. Every time Lord gets taken, GPX loses a frontline. It's always this domino effect that GPX could never recover from.
Yep, at the same time now, with Fredrin completely ignored throughout this entire bans in game number 2, I want to see whether or not Fredrin is going to be priority, because GPX, they completely could not play the Lancelot tank at all. And this time, they're forced to actually switch up their drafts a little bit more. Same identical bans coming from both sides. ALVA going to be banned from side AAD Esports. GPX going to be banning off the 1-1. Do they continue their trend here? Do they ban off the Faramis? So far, it feels like AAD Esports, they want to play around this Faramis a little bit more compared to GPX.
It does feel like it. I think AAD Esports, they see a lot of value in in heroes like the Fredrin and the Faramis. So far, the bans pretty similar. See both teams pretty kind of worn out at this point. We are very late into the evening. I believe it's 11 PM over there. But Arlot, Fanny, Joy, 1-1. Not too much of a surprise. I think GPX or AA banned Valentina also in game 1. I'm expecting that to come true also.
Yeah, this is going to be a very difficult one if you think about it, right? Valentina, if you ban Valentina, that pretty much denies the Faramis counter countouts are coming in from AAD Esports if they get first pick priority. But it opens up Fredrin, it opens up the Kaja, it opens up the Glue once again. But no, they don't go for the Valentina. They want to secure the Valentina for themselves this time, and they will ban off the Faramis. But by first picking the Valentina means Fredrin is going to be let off. But so far, GPX hasn't been playing that too much. I think Aussie want to kind of stick to this assassin jungle playstyle, but they do ban off the Valentina from GPX. That means there is going to be a Martis open up in the current hero pool. There is also going to be not Arlot. What else? Kaja is going to be open as well. Eve is going to be open as well. Benedetta is going to be up for grabs for GPX. Fredrin is going to be the biggest wow factor, but AAD Esports, they take the blue first.
Yeah, it worked fantastic for Fondia in game 1, so AAD Esports just goes back to what has been working well. GPX now will have to make a choice. They went for the Kaja Benedetta opening, which I think was great in what they want to achieve, but clearly AAD Esports had an answer for it. So I think GPX look at switch things up. Benedetta, when they went up against Euphoria, wasn't picked in the opening sequence. It was left until the last 2 picks. But they're going to go for it anyways. This time, they take the Eve away. Wow.
Fredrin completely ignored once again. Lancelot was pretty much a priority coming from GPX. So they have the Eve, they have the Benedetta again. AAD Esports, they can still stick to their comfort pickups again. Kufra is something that I think they could have prioritized, but considering that Eve was on their side in the previous game, so GPX this time takes this opportunity to deny it away for them. So Farsa is pretty much up and open as well. For AAD Esports, they can look to mirror the Farsa pickup, but at the same time, it was pretty much banned in the previous game. So no, yeah, they are gonna mirror this time. Yeah, okay, fine. Okay, Farsa caught, pretty safe pick from side AAD Esports. Kaja completely ignored. GPX looking to double down. Do they go for the Kaja right here, right now? Maybe. No, they go for the Grok. It is a good solution to deal with the Blazing Duet. Save the wall charge for the Blazing Duet, cancel it off. I like it.
Yeah, I think GPX are so much more robust. The problem with the previous game was that there's no proper front line, and whenever AAD powers on them, GPX, they just could not out-sustain. Now you have decent ways to zone out AAD Esports, you have your own artillery, and of course you have the Grok to beat that brick wall to deal with something like the plot, like the Farsa. I love this approach from GPX. No longer prioritizing the Kaja. That is not kind of the most important hero for GPX. Oh, they're going to ban out the Fredrin, which has been a big part for A8.
Yeah, Martis also going to be out for grabs once again. But A8 Esports, they can look to actually challenge this here. You know, just let the Lancelot through, force GPX to play it as well, ban the Martis, play it even Stevens, force GPX to ban the Paquito and waste it on something else, and they can potentially bring it off. So in this case, A8 Esports, I think they have a little bit more options this game, just because of how they are able to threaten Ozzy with that play. But at the same time, GPX was banning the Hayabusa based on A8 Esports' yesterday performance. So I guess GPX might consider opening things up and go for the switch up. But no, A8 Esports, they let it open. They let GPX decide, pick their poisons. They will focus on banning off the Moskov instead. I'm pretty sure the next one is going to be either the Beatrix or the Brody to a certain degree in terms of mobility. Coming in from GPX, so A8 Esports maybe need to ban it off, but GPX, do they respect the Hayabusa? Do they respect the Paquito? But no, they banned the Kaja instead. Oh, it is going to be up for opener.
I think the Paquito can still be an option, but GPX now have a better way to deal with it.
Yeah, Martis.
Just because there's a Grok, right? And there is also a Martis. Unless GPX still wants to go for the Assassin, the Lancelot that they went in game 1, I think it is still okay now that there's a Farsa. Unlike that Eve, you're not really immune to all these crowd control.
This is a problem.
And there's a threat to make you cancel your ult. You know, GPX can still go for it.
You know, 20 seconds left. This is a big problem here, Husky. Like A8 Esports, final ban, they have to decide. Do they ban the Martis or risk being snapped and napped away from GPX? Because that Martis is going to completely shred both the Forza and the Cloud in all these early team fights. But no, they let it slide. They ban Hayabusa instead. Martis completely out for grabs as GPX. Do they double down on this Lancelot? A great way to threaten Forza in the back lines. Or do they go for the zoning tactic? Because as of yet, GPX, they were able to play a split push potential because of the Benedetta. Do they want to double down for macro gameplay, or do they want to have somebody zoning in front of them? But as of now, GPX, options of them. But
Brody?
no,
Okay.
they let them decide. They go for the Brody instead.
AA now have to reveal that jungler. GPX
Okay.
keeping Ray's pick until the very end. We have a couple of options left. The Akai, Lancelot, the Ling, so Karina before also. The Hanzo is left on the table this time. Though we haven't seen any Indonesian teams go for the Hanzo, so unfortunately, I think that is probably out of the conversation.
I really want to see the Hanzo. To be honest, I really want to see the Hanzo, but they go for the Cho. A great way to actually go in for the setup as well. Isolate targets, but I feel a Cho in towards a Paquito is going to be very, very difficult to play in this competition. So I guess Tanksolo is going to be the way to go. Martis, leave the Martis for GPX. I think A8 Esports was denying it, but secretly it wasn't a Tanksolo as well. They're going for Link for GPX. All right. Okay.
It all came down to this final game. Both teams playing the Assassin Jungler, and for GPX, again, they had a head start, but that head start doesn't matter anymore. One final game between A8 Esports and GPX. Winner goes to top 4. Of course, losers gets eliminated. And both teams came in for the regional qualifiers, and it's a bit of a shame that only one of them can make it through. But A8, if they have shown us such gameplay in the previous game, I think GPX, they're in for a ride.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one as well. Good pick with the Cho as well. A way to actually catch the Ling midway rotation. Another solution is going to be brought out, but whether or not can they execute, because eventually this Ling is going to be completely ignored. The only one that can catch him is pretty much either the Glue or the Cho, and it is still a very, very difficult task to do. As of now, the lower bracket semi-finals decider match. Who is going to represent Indonesia for the Snapdragon Pro Series? Stick around to find out. This is going to be Game 3. And on the blue side, we have A8 Esports and GPX on the red side.
Fellow QT, a bit late to the party, trying to disrupt Ozil, not able to make it there in time. Again, for all focus on Fondia on this Glue. In the previous game, we are getting the exact same matchup in the XP lane, and Fondia has been really able to stop his Benedetta from being efficient. GPX, even though they took a couple of pages off Euphoria's playbook, they haven't really been able to replicate the same success. Red QT running interference in the jungle, spotted out, ambush coming in from A8 Esports. They're gonna get the first blood over for Fondia, taking down the glue. Ziri can get Richie. AA Esports starting it off on a good note.
Yep, this is going to be a very, very conclusive match coming in from AD Esports and GPX. Currently, they are going to be forced to play a little bit slow. Fondia are going to be harassing Ray on the sides. Richie loses his life on the sides in the hands of Ziri, but there is going to be a little bit of slow rotation coming from Ray. And here's a big downside coming in from the fights, because right now, the rotation coming from AD is a little bit too fast. They won't get the kill on Ziri down bottom.
Ziri goes down. Kesu also traded back. Both teams really going both blow for blow, but for AA Esports now they get to cash in on those turret shoes. Some extra gold for them. GPX. So this is a matchup you expect Watt to kind of have to lead, bully this plot away. Especially when you hit that level 4, it's also able to cash in on a bit of that extra gold as well.
Oh,
Ziri
no, Ziri!
can't find Ozil.
A little bit too close in that vicinity. Richie doesn't have his feathered airstrike yet. Fordet is going to be there to intercept. Ziri dropping a little bit too low, but now with the real boom, Militia comes in. Kribo chipping away Richie bit by bit, and he will actually kill him off. No escape whatsoever. And Kezu now looking to interject into Ziri. Does he have the way of the dragon? But they are going to go for steal, but it is going to be Kezu that steals the turtle. But to what avail? They lose Ozil in the process. But GPX, they have the kill advantage, but they lose objective in the hands of AD Esports.
Unbelievable play from Kesu. Ziri forced to recall as well, this purple buff. Very important if you are Ray, but you can't really get close to it. Unfortunately, they used the better airstrike to try to secure it, but still, it ends up going over to Kesu. AA Esports getting their resource away from this lane.
Oh boy, oh boy. GPX currently in a very, very dominant position compared for game number 2. Watt is having a fantastic farm as well. Ozil is struggling to actually get some sort of stacks as well. But this is a tank slot this time compared to AD Esports. So we are not going to be expecting a lot of high value bursts coming from Ozil, but he is going to be looking to zone out players from GPX. They don't have a very strong frontliner from Fondir, and that's the reason why we do see Fondir kind of getting a little bit more active in this early stage game despite being an XP lane. But as soon as he does that, you are going to be seeing Ziri pressuring and cutting the wave. And based on what we're seeing on the map as well, he's just cutting off the bottom lane. But top side, Kezu!
Watt, Flicker will the dragon. Watt jumped on, forced the Flicker himself. Backup is there from Fredo QT, keeping Watt alive. The Lancelot looking for the kill. Watt still ends up burning down to the orange buff, but Kribu will come in to get the exchange with the real manipulation. And Richie also gets caught. GPX finding 2 in return.
Oh my goodness, what an overextended fight coming for AD Esports here. They're getting a little bit desperate here to make sure that Watt doesn't get out of control. Economy-wise, they're not losing too much as long as Richie is getting some sort of room to work with. RP doesn't get picked off good, but Wave of the Dragon comes in. Fredo QT dropping a little bit too low. Not sure what they were thinking. They just don't have the damage, especially when RP, even though he needed the kill, he doesn't have the level yet. But they are going to try and force a fight with Defender Airstrike. And GPX, they back out. And AD Esports, they can't seem to interject. Fondir looking for the split to latch on the Grok. He does connect, but can they burst it down? Yes, they will. But at the side, Watt will be able to finish off Kaya and Kezu. They trade 1-for-1. Was it worth it? I'd say it's pretty decent for AD Esports.
As you can see the fans favoring GPX a bit more. Turtle goes over to A8. That means a lot of space for Ziri. He is having a time of his life in the bottom lane, but Kribu and Watt now caught in a bad spot. Both cores for GPX in danger. Kribu first to go. Still low. Surviving for longer than he should. They get RP in return, and Watt, untouched. GPX finds 3.
Oh my goodness, mistakes from ADs, but they're getting so desperate now. Ozil continues with his fight. He's gotta get out, but they do catch him with Watt alongside the Ray. They kill him off with the final poke. And AD Esports is slowly crumbling in game number 3. And with the predictions coming in, with the power of love, you guys are looking to see potentially GPX taking this series, but for now, with the purple buff completely up his gripe as well, Feathered Airstrike comes in. They do finally trade off Ray, so that is going to slow down the momentum of the junglers. But eventually, it all comes down to whether or not the gold laners get their farm, and RP is going to be the priority coming from AD Esports, while GPX, they're looking to get a little bit more mobile cross-map plays.
And for the first time in the series, GPX have a goal advantage. Kesu has been doing so much work roaming around the map, getting these pickoffs, but the one thing that GPX is doing well is that they are responding faster Instead of trying to catch up to AA, they are always at the right place at the right time. And going 3-1 and 3 in 6 minutes is a huge advantage for GPX.
Yup, it is going to be a tough one indeed. GPX looking for the setup up top as well. 70 seconds left before the next hurdle. And currently 80 Esports going for the fight. Wall charge connecting by Keizu. He gets the way of the dragon. Kribu zoned up pretty much, but the real Wolverine will save him a little bit more durability. And he turns the tide, and now AA, they have to back out. Keizu will die. Ray dropping a little bit too low, but he needs to back out. And GPX was able to trade their threat.
Unlike the previous game, Castle gets the great engage, but the follow-up not really there. They don't have enough damage like they did, and GPX finds room to punish them. Ray finally gets the turtle for himself, extending that goal lead. You can see the core items coming through. Fredo QT just got his Athena, and Ziri continues to just play this bottom side where AA Esports, if they want to deal with him, they have to delegate Fondia. But every time Fondia is away, GPX just pounds on the rest of his team.
Oh boy, this is tough. As soon as the Saiyans can see Ziri already starting to disrespect Fondia a little bit more, and eventually they need to buy time. Ozil currently can't seem to actually snowball as hard as we kind of expect. Meanwhile, GPX, they have the lead. All they gotta do is just buy for time, but here comes the kick once again. Feather Airstrike comes in. Ziri won't look to get disengaged, but Richie, being patient with Feather Airstrike is going to take him out, so that's going to buy a little bit more time for AA Esports as they try to get map control. Ozil now pressuring the mid lane. The mid lane needs to fall, and GPX will not let go this fight as they pause the real obliteration. But with that down, top side, Ray in a little bit of awkward position. Grok comes in, wall charge will connect on Gezu, but can they finish him off? They look to interject, but Ray is getting out. Ozil looking for execution, but okay. Not sure why he was stuck on the wall, so a little bit of mistakes here coming for EAD Esports.
And GPX should be able to get this purple buff for Ray. And that's going to be great. GPS continue to keep this lane juiced up. And Watt continuing to have a great game as well. The bot tier 1 just now was taken away by this Brody. GPX keeping that goal lead, can still play from A8. Need to look for members, but unfortunately the read from AA is a bit off. Going towards that boss side when GPX are at top.
Yup, and now seeing how this is actually happening as well. GPX, they are going to force Vicious. Zero clearing the whip race, but Fondir can't seem to actually going for the flank, considering that they need a strong frontliner. It's going to be up to Castle looking for this kind of opportunities, and you can see on the map as well, is running across the map, making sure that Ray is just wasting all his energy, because eventually it's only Kezu that can actually catch him off. But at the same time, GPX, they're just completely dodging it here. All they gotta do is just play crossman plays, and it's gonna work out in their favor. But AAD Esports at the same time, that's exactly what they want as well. They don't mind trading crossman plays as long as they get some sort of farm. And Walt now in a lot of trouble, and he's gonna get sniped down because he was separated from the team.
Yeah, and GPX again, Kesu tries to go for heroics. This time not able to find it. Still has Way of the Dragon, but he was forced to use his flicker early on. GPX just needs to buy time for what? 12 seconds before this Brody comes back. AA Esports starting to work on the Lord. A lot of damage coming through. Castle finds Fredo QT. This should be a kill. Fredo QT flickers away, gets executed, but they were able to delay the attempt of this Lord. Meanwhile, Ray just secured the purple buff. Castle is in danger, trying to get away with the Jin Kundo, and actually pushing Ray back. Richie snipes him away. Now without Ray in the fight, AA can get this Lord, and there's nothing that Ziri can do.
Oh, what a clutch coming from Fondir. Just at the nick of moment where Kazu needs help, he was able to interject his first two combo, completely denying Ray. Cheeky plays here, trying to steal all the purple buff, a little bit greedy, but AAD Esports, they were able to come on top, and now GPX, they're in a very, very awkward position where they need to play defense. Mid lane control is what makes them so strong. And now with the Lord coming in, middle tower is guaranteed to fall. Almost every outer inhibitor is going to fall, and there's no way GPX is going to be able to defend unless they start getting pickoffs. And in this case, bottom lane is going to be the Lord shoving in. Middle lane as well, Ziri might be actually caught out as well. Ziri needs to buy time, and he is going to be able to do so. Mid lane control is throwing bodies for this, but the Way of Dragon connects. Do they have the damage? Ziri still holding on the Electro Roll.
Oh my
Here's
goodness.
the minions, and it's going to be A-OK. Ray looking to finish with Ozil, but Ozil is a tanks a lot, and they don't seem to be able to get it off. Ozil goes for the Blade Thornros, and he sidesteps his way through, but he won't be able to get out.
So well played from both teams. Ziri buying so much time. They still lose the mid tier 1, but the fact that Ziri was able to hold on in a 1v3 situation, that is exactly what you want as a Benedetta. He did have to use his Petrify though. Kesu showing up. Conceal play. Who do you find? What is the target? He's trying to look for what? The real manipulation is there from Kriebel. And now RP goes in, unleashes the Blazing Duet. They get the bot tier 1. No casualties for GPX.
I swear to God, this game, it feels like an anime fight scene, especially between the junglers here. You can see Ray once again, they're dancing around, going blade fight blade, blood fight blood. And eventually, they will have to equalize, but beautiful defense coming from GPX. They only lose tier 1s down middle and bottom. It means that there is still a lot of map control, not too much being given away, considering it is only the first slot. Esports now needs to find a pick-off, but the biggest question here is, can they kill off Ray? Because he is still a big threat. What? Now, maybe showing himself here, Ozil. Get a little bit feisty, 2 people up top, but GPX, they're just afraid. And Ray doesn't have his purple buff.
Try GPX securing that purple buff for Ray for now. Esports in the vicinity. Again, trying to get onto Richie. Richie able to fly away just in time. Kesu looking for a pick. Fondia sticking onto wide, bringing the Brody back right into Ozil. They have found the most important target on GPX. And that is going to create so much room. Ozil continuing the pursuit onto Ziri as the bottom tier 2 goes down. And I just gotta say, Terrence, Kesu has been flawless this entire series. Ray gets rid of Richie, but now he has to find a way out.
Sneaky little Richie thought he could get away, but it's gonna be Ray to finish ball. But yo,
oh my
the kick from Kesu! Is it gonna be enough in the tower? We'll kill him off. What a catch from this show! A8 Esports not making it easy for GPX.
The playmakers from AA, so precise with these catches. Yesterday it was Fondia, today Castle playing out of his goddamn mind. Once on the cool front, now on the choke. GPX have lost all the lead they garnered early on. AA Esports back in the driver's seat, and
Ziri.
with the Lord for him, Ziri is not going to even be close to contesting this one.
Oh boy, Ziri looking for the catch, but it's not gonna happen anytime soon. But AA Esports is just not giving up. Reverse 2-0 sweep, no problemo. That's gonna be the name of the game. 4K net worth advantage for AA Esports and GPX. Let's talk about instant replay here. Oh my God, Kesu, how the heck do you angle it like that? That is just crazy for him to actually punish this here. This is exactly what they do with the problem that AA Esports needs. They have no ways to cut this link, but at the same time now, Ozil is gonna change the anime battle fight scene to focus on the Benedetta, while the Lord is gonna be shoving the top side. And they are grouping it 3v4. Everyone is here, but GPX, they're looking to try and rat their way through. But the Lord, they're knocking in. They need to bounce back. They need to recall back. But AA Esports, they don't know what to do. They don't have the minions. They don't know what to do. Do they chase? Do they fight? But it seems like in the midst of this confusion, GPX forces them back instead.
Even so, GPX now forced into the same spot that they were in the previous game, having to defend their base. 5,500 net worth behind. AA Esports firm control. We say GPX, they have a draft that can play cross map, but when you're up against this Cho, cross map isn't really the option that you're looking for. AA Esports have been so vigilant in stopping these mobile heroes from really being able to traverse the map properly.
Oh boy, now when it comes to items as well, Watt very close to that rose gold meteor. This is where Watt is going to be able to sustain the burst coming in from the far side a little bit better. But the threat here is still not going to be on this Brody. The biggest threat is still Ray and Ziri from the side of GPX. All this cross map plays, and every single time the Lord push comes in, the lanes are always shoved out. And AA Esports, they have to make a decision. They need to find a catch. But the problem is, if they catch Ray, they can't catch the Benedetta. If they catch the Benedetta, Ray is all the way on the other side of the fight. And this is a big problem for AA Esports. This anime fight scene is not going to last forever. Eventually, they need to make a strong, hard play. But now the purple buff stolen away from Ozil means this link is going to be rendered useless. A final opening in the cracks of defense from GPX. And now they focus on the Benedetta. They are going to kill him off. And they are gonna try, but as of yet, he's running for his dear life. Kenzo looking for the setup. The Jikundo comes in, down to his last HP. Fornia looking for the flicker setup, but the dodge comes in. Ziri, he survives, but the rest of his teammates are not. The Blazing Duet will connect. RV will be picked off by Watt instead as they trade 1 for 1. It's not over yet. Fredo Guilty trying to bait out for more. Watt is still alive. He's got the
Oh my God,
damage.
Watt.
No marksman for AA. They have to back out. Ziri looking to try and connect this fight. But Watt plays it a bit slow. He might be pulled back. He needs to run from this. And he's going to lose a life. But no, he survives as well. He's going to be fine. But eventually, Ozil will go in for the finish. It's not over. They are backing out. This fight scene will extend. Kezu looking to pull it off. But the sidesteps coming from GPX will be at a halt. This fight finally takes a reset coming from both sides.
Lovely stuff from GPX, holding on again. Corrosion side for Ray. Not able to do out the damage that he's looking for, and we are seeing the same prowess from Esports. These team fights have been so tough for GPX to manage. You have so many factors to consider, and all these constant power-ons from AA, Fondia and Kesu continuing to be a threat, and Kesu, all this isolation now finding Fredo QT. It's gonna force the war charge out of all things, and that means AA Esports now have one less crowd control to worry about.
Oh my goodness, RP, he's pulled the biggest blazing duet, but little did he know Watt was secretly aiming him. As long as one of these cores are surviving, GPX has a chance. And even if they lose Watt, they still have the link. They still have the edited cross-map play as well. Pay attention to the mini-map as well. You can see it time and time again. Ziri is always cutting the quick wave, hoping that AED Esports is going to be losing map control. And this is actually buying so much time, and it's actually going to help GPX because it all comes down to that one fatal micro mistake, and they will cast on the game. And especially when Indonesian pride is on the line, who is going to be representing here? They're just going all out.
GPS continuing to play that split map. And again, Kesu on the hunt once more. Seen this way too many times. Ziri should know this. Every time Kesu fails to catch someone on GPX playing cross map, is an advantage for GPX. Now they have made it to the Lord Pit. In fact, they are the first one to have control. Richie hiding in the brush. Does GPX know this though? Kesu is going to show up again. Fredo QT. He might be the target once more. Kesu looking for an opening. Can't find it.
Oh, Siri, the snipe on the tier 2. Fredo QT taking a little bit too much damage. He needs a wall charge, but can he get out? Feather Airstrike will not be able to finish more, but at the same time, Lord down towards the final bar. They comes out the final side. Tempest of Blink comes in. It's gonna be Ray that steals it off, and he is gonna be able to get out to safety. And GPX, they will come up on top, and AED Esports, they are losing way much more. They lose out on all the trades, and this is the GPX special we've seen here. In the midst of all this confusion, can they find opportunities? AED Esports, they know they needed to make that play, and eventually they lost the retribution battle. A very, very small micro mistake here, but at the same time, now they're overextended. Ziri continue the oppression. They go for the Petrify. He's gonna get caught out and stalled by Fondir. But it seems like AED Esports, they just don't want to fight. They want to try and defend. The Lord is still on the bottom side, so far off. GPX not committing to the fight yet.
If we've seen that MDL series that AA Esports played, they've came back from a Lord steal. And they've done it against GPX just now. So this isn't foreign territory for them. In fact, I think Ray also was found by Kesu. Not a target they can solo kill, but GPS coming down, crashing the bottom lane. RP with the blazing duet. Fredo QT down low. Kribu also running away. Ziri is there to keep Fondy at bay, but Fredo QT might be sacrificed. Middle lane under pressure, but AA Esports defended.
Oh, very difficult one as well. You can even see Kesu time and time again looking for those angles to actually catch off either the Link or Ziri. GPX, they finally push back, but then they have no choice but to back off. And this is a smart play because GPX, they have lost so much map control because of the fact of the Tower turrets. They lose a tier 1 inhibitor, and this pretty much puts GPX in a situation. We're finding equalizer. We've done a fantastic job of buying time. But now it all comes down to capitalizing on mistakes. And so far, AED Esports has not made much mistake. And they hope to continue banging it all off. And right now, they're pushing the orange buff for Watt here. Hopefully, with this play, it is going to be able to kill off Arfian, whereas AED Esports, they're waiting for the reset on Wind of Nature. But here comes the wall charge!
There it is! This is the fight they need to win, but they just blow up Watt! He couldn't get his ultimate off, and Watt goes down, but they did trade Arfi. Richie also gets fined by Ray. This is the fight that GPX needs. Kesu also goes down. Immortality is popped. Kesu flickers away. Can they catch this Cho? He is buying time, but not enough. It's going to be Ray catching that kill. GPX finding the most important fight in this game. Also pressured by Ziri. GPX now shoving that mid wave in, but AA Esports have one built up in the top lane. Can GPX do damage to the base?
Oh, so unlucky. Arfi, he didn't have this Purify, he didn't have his Winds of Nature, and now GPX, they will finally push their way through. Ozil losing his life in brutality. He goes for the Winter Trunk as well, but can he survive? No, he cannot. He's done his best. Fondier left alone, 1v4, and GPX is running his way through, but he's holding on.
going for the
But
crystal.
GPX, they saw an opening. The creeps are here. We're taking the crystal. We're representing Indonesia for GPX Esports.
The journey was longer than they expected it to be, but it's how you finish that actually matters. AA Esports putting up one of the most incredible and most resilient performance we have seen in the tournament, but GPX tough it up until the end. We praise all the playmakers on the side of A8. Kesu, we praise Fondia, but the one that won the game for the side of GPX was